Did you found Ravana's red Lingam?
The original name of this place is to get the blessing of Lord Shiva. Ravana was making lingam after lingam. Shiva did not show up. So he starts to cut his head one by one, and then...
Which is why this Lingam was red.
Correct.
Wow. I somewhere heard that in the World Bay, if you go inside, you will find a lot of Nagas.
There is a place that's called Nagaloka in Bali. This is the actual entrance to Nagaloka.
To Nagaloka, for real?
Yeah. We're saying there's a Nagaloka under many different places. The reptilians are there everywhere, and they're shape-shifting and blending into humans, and they're controlling them, and they're making hybrid children. If you go to a particular place called... It's a very mysterious place. The princess is a Naga princess. Believe it or not, if you go to Cambodia, you read this as a part of their history, not as part of their mythology. The oldest pyramid in the world, where do you think it would be?
Egypt?
No. Hindus were building pyramids in remote places, and on top they would put a massive crystal lingam.
So do you think that the humans were of the same size of today?
Perhaps giants there.
Oh. Namaste. I was recently having a word with one of my old friends on WhatsApp, and we were discussing how our one lifetime would not be sufficient to understand our Indian culture. Just think about it. Who built these ancient temples? Who's behind Kailash temple? What technology was used? How interesting is this? Till date, these are unanswered questions. And if we don't talk about it, these conversations will die forever. I still remember, because we have sat with experts like Rupa Bhati. While leaving the studio, she said to me personally, Raghav, even though we had a 4-hour long conversation on the Rigved, still, this is not even 1%. I'm so happy that we are able to do this. We have Praveen Mohan back on the show. He's one of the best in the field because he, as a researcher, he is exploring not just India, but he's going across the globe to all the ancient sites, and he's trying to bring what our ancestors have built. I firmly believe that these episodes not just help us in reviving our Indian culture, but these episodes will also put a seed of purpose for our future generations. And as Indians, as people who believe in humanity, we must finally bring this truth out and put it out in the world. This is what we are trying to do. And I want you to help me doing this. Please make sure to share this episode in all your WhatsApp groups and help the world know about what truly India stands for. Make sure to also subscribe, because episodes like these are some conversations which take a lot of effort, not just from me, but from my entire team. So your subscription helps us to bring more episodes like these, while that also helps in nation building, because this directly supports our NGO, which has been functioning for the last 10 years. You talked about Padmanabhaswamy Temple, and I've heard about it. I'm not sure if that's the true story.
Okay.
So I somewhere heard that in the World Bay, if you go inside, you will find a lot of Nagas, and the Nagas have locked the door. Is it like a story, or is it for real? And how do we, if you were to come closer to something that makes sense to World Bay, what would that be?
There is a place that's called Nagaloka in Bali, Indonesia. It's right there. They pronounce it like Nagaloka, because they, instead of saying Naga, they say Naga, Nagaloka.
Okay.
But it's on Google Maps.
Okay.
It's in Bali, and it's in a very remote place.
Okay.
It's in you can go there. Yeah, I've been there.
Okay.
But they don't allow you, and it gets very rainy, and it's impossible to access.
Okay.
Unless you do spelunking, you do cave diving.
Okay.
You cannot go in.
Okay.
Okay. But if you go there, you can. It's on Google Maps.
Okay. Just have maybe we'll search it side by side. Yeah, you can keep on going.
Yeah, so it's Nagaloka, and it goes deep. Only a few people have been able to go inside. And some people claim that, yes, this is the actual entrance to Nagaloka. This is one of the entrances.
To Nagaloka, for real?
Yeah. Yeah, they say that this is one of the entrances of Nagaloka. It's actually on Google Maps. And a few people even go inside, like people do, but you literally have to take all the equipment. You have to go cave diving.
Right, I find, just think, who did I found for this video? I found Praveen Mohan.
No, yeah. But if you go, if you keep on searching, you will find.
Is this the one?
Yeah, I show you, yeah.
This one. That's a forest.
That hole is actually real and it goes underground. I'll show you not my own footage, but others' footage of that. This is CGI.
Yeah. This can't be real. You're making a video.
Correct.
But you shot this video?
Yes. No, well, not me, but my crew.
Should I scroll down to somewhere?
You can go to, I mean, it's been a while, but if you see, there'll be actual footage of people going in. Probably there. And all they're doing puja, you can literally go there, go inside. And you see people with equipment going in. I hope this is all. See how the stone goes in there. There you go. It's literally a hole that goes underground. This is as far as you can go, but if you have equipment, I think I would have taken somebody's video there and posted it. There you go. This is actual footage of people going in. This is how it looks.
From inside?
Yeah, from inside. This is the actual, you can do it. And there are spelunking or like cave diving companies there, like Scuba. They have they'll take you and you can go to Bali and do this.
So how do you come to a conclusion that this is, is it like a folklore? That this
is if you go to Google Maps, you can do that too. If you go to Google Maps,
right,
and if you say Nagaloka, you'll find that.
So that somebody might have maybe chosen the name or something like that.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that, I found a hole and I think it's Nagaloka, and I'm saying that for the past 100 years, people have been calling it Nagaloka. Right,
and it's the people in Bali who
you found it.
Oh, I'm
actually Nagaloka Bali, Negalok space Bali. Wow, what are we? I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, there it is. Lubang Nagaloka. Lubang just means a hole in Bali. Must have caused so much conflict. Can you zoom out and we can literally see this? Right now it's showing the ocean, but if you zoom out, it'll show. It's actually in a remote place. Oh. Wow, they removed that. There you go. Is that in Bali? Yeah, there you go. That's it. They've been changing it. We have to go to the... Yeah, there you go.
This is the one, right?
Yeah, Nagalokam. They changed it from Nagaloka to Nagalokam now. 2-3 years ago, it used to be called Nagaloka. Actually called Lubang Nagaloka.
Right, got it. So how does this link to Padmanabhaswamy Temple? We were talking about Nagas, world B.
No, what I'm trying to say is, if you look at ancient texts, okay, they're saying that there is an underworld about, like, below our level. We are living in this level, right? But there's literally an underworld beneath us. Okay. And again, we see this like so many times now, right? And this is the cause for all this folklore that there are underground tunnels everywhere. Reptilians are living there. They're capable of shape shifting. The lizard people are living there. I'm talking about the US and the UK. They, again and again, they find these underground tunnels. Who knows when they've been built? They're literally finding underworlds that they say that reptilians live, and they're capable of shape shifting. Now, if you look at the modern quote unquote folklore about reptilians, if you go to the US or the UK, and if you talk to people like David Icke, I'm doing a conference with David Icke, who popularized the reptilian theory. And he says that the reptilians are everywhere and they kind of blend with the humans. Okay? So it's so far-fetched, that theory, right? So think about it. When he came with that theory, he was ostracized. People just deleted out of their...
Right. Yeah.
Deleted him out of all the... at that time, it was only TV channels. So he's a British guy. Very, very intelligent guy, by the way. So when he said that the reptilians are there everywhere and they're shape-shifting and blending into humans and they're controlling them,
right,
and they're mingling with the humans, right? And they're making hybrid children with humans, and they're capable of shifting their skin color, changing their skin color and all that stuff. Now, of course, this is the price you pay, whenever you say something like that. But everything that I mentioned, right, everything that David Icke has mentioned is actually mentioned in ancient texts, in Indian texts. It's repeatedly mentioned that the Nagas live underground. They live in Nagaloka or Patala. Okay? They always live underground. They can take the form of humans whenever they want. It's shown again and again if you go to Mahabalipuram, you will see, literally, you can see a snake, and then the snake it becomes a half snake, half human, and it becomes a full human. Okay? You can literally see the reptile shape-shifting into humans. Okay? And then, even today, there are lizards, there are chameleons, which can change their skin color and blend accordingly. Right? And these stories are mentioned again and again, even in Mahabharata. Bhima is thrown into water, and then Bhima just goes and meets the Nagas. Right? And the Nagas have various powers. They're capable of shape-shifting. They're capable of marrying humans and having hybrid children.
Right.
And believe it or not, if you go to Cambodia, you read this as a part of their history, not as part of their mythology. In their history books, they read this. According to this, an Indian king comes from India, but the queen or the princess is a Naga princess. That is a native of Cambodia.
Oh.
You read this in history books all the way to college level. They say that is the history of Cambodia. So the Naga queen, she's not human. Right. She's a Naga queen. And she marries an Indian king who comes. And that's how they created this civilization. That's how they created all these temples. Right. Okay? And then if you go to a particular place called Vimanas in Cambodia, there's the name of the temple is Vimanas, meaning it's a plane.
Right.
That is where the king and the Naga queen would be together all like at a particular time of the night. Like that's where they made the hybrid civilization. And nobody was allowed to go up. It's still there. It's a very mysterious place. And it's called the Vimanas.
Right.
So now, long story, right? So we're just trying to connect the dots.
Yeah.
But long story. But the thing is, this information exists about everywhere. We're not saying that there's a Nagaloka under Padmanabhaswamy Temple. We're not saying there's a Nagaloka under Bali. We're saying there's a Nagaloka under many different places. Okay? You see, there is a Patala, there is a Nagaloka, there's an underground location that is not just in one place, but it's around the world.
Can this be physically seen by somebody? Like I somewhere heard, I think there was a temple in Odisha, and there was this underground city that was recently discovered by scientists as well. So, in your research, have you ever seen any kind of an underground city, maybe near an ancient temple or something like that?
No, not an underground city. We do find a lot of underground chambers, but no, never anything even remotely like a entire street. No.
What do you mean by underground chamber?
So if you go to Kailash temple, most of them are blocked now because again people are starting to vandalize them. So you will find that there are holes going right inside underneath.
Mm.
Okay, like it's just going vertically underneath. Okay, and you can go there, right? There is an underground chamber in Hampi. This is called the underground Shiva temple. It's built beneath the ground level. Now, in 2015, in the Sri Rangam temple, they found an underground chamber. You can see the footage from my channel, but it's probably from 2017 or something like that, maybe almost 10 years ago. You can literally see the footage of the underground chamber.
Right.
So what happened was there's like a solid granite door, okay? Nobody care, like it's not openable. You cannot open the door.
Right.
Right? But they opened it in 2015 and they found the chamber, right? And you can see kind of like a 2x2 or 3x3 feet opening that goes underground from that level. And of course, we can see underground also. We can go to that chamber, right? It's a large room. It's probably bigger than like maybe 15 by 15, that kind of a big room. And there's also another square chamber going underneath.
Right.
That means they had two underground levels, not just one. Okay. So they had one underground level and they had another underground level. They didn't film the second underground. They didn't film the last level. They only filmed the first one. And the last one has been sealed. And if you talk to the locals, they say they found a Vimana there, a metal Vimana. The authorities found a metal Vimana. And today, if you go there, it's completely sealed. It's just completely sealed off. But if you go and talk to the locals, they'll tell you the story. When I went there, they say that, I mean, I went there for other reasons, by the way. But when I went there, they said, oh, did you know they found a Vimana 2 years ago, right? And I said, what Vimana? I mean, that's kind of crazy, right? But they said, no, they found underground chambers. And inside the underground chamber, there was like a rattling sound. It was like something was moving. When they moved it, it was moving and all that stuff. I don't know what to make of it. Sometimes it could be true. So I didn't believe it at that time. So when I came back, I researched it and I found an actual video. This video was published by a magazine. It's a reputable magazine. And they found a video, and I found a video from them. They had filmed the underground chambers. So I posted that video on my channel, right? So they did find the underground chambers there, but we don't know if they found a Vimana. There's no evidence of it, it's hearsay, right? So they're saying they found a Vimana. Who knows what was in the underground chambers, right? But there's no mention of it. And this is the smoking gun. There is no mention, like they should at least tell us what was found.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So was it just two empty underground chambers that was sealed for a long time. So this kind of Vimana underground structures, these lores are everywhere. And when people say, well, where's the evidence for this, right? I say, go and see the video from 2017. You can see the underground chambers in Sri Rangam. Today it's sealed. If you go there, it's closed off, right?
Right.
But it's a good possibility that, these kind of underground chambers linking to Nagaloka are found, right?
Do you think that the ancient technology, because now you go across the globe, other than India, where do we find hard evidence about ancient temples or ancient technologies?
I mean, my focus is on
Cambodia?
India,
Okay.
actually. I say India because at one point, India was much, much larger. India was very large. Okay, who knows how far it stretched?
Right.
It was stretching to Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos. It was stretching all the way up there, right? And again, it was stretching on this side as well. All the countries, right? Pakistan, Afghanistan, all these countries. And this is my focus, right? I focus on again other places as well. It all used to be a part of the same civilization at one point. Some people call it Akhand Bharat. Some people call it, even in maps, if you see European maps before independence, some people say this is the Hindu kingdom, and it includes everything. It goes all the way to almost, it almost touches China. Okay.
Right.
So this is my focus. But I've gone to so many other, like, for example, I've gone to the US, where they have this Native American mounds. Again, the mounds look like now they're serpent-shaped mounds, the Nagas. Okay. Again, the Naga will appear as though it's swallowing kind of a round object. You will again see the exact same depiction in Hindu temples as well. If you go to Peru, you will find the similar structures. One very remote place that I went to is Colombia, not Cambodia, right? Cambodia is in Asia. Went to Colombia. This is in South America. Okay. And nobody goes to Colombia.
Only Praveen Mohan
because
does.
because of Pablo Escobar. But Colombia, what happened was there was so much drug problem in Colombia that nobody wanted to go to Colombia, right? Because there's so much like drug cartel. The only thing that Colombia is famous for is, I think, it's cocaine. Okay. So, and now it's so good. If you get a chance, you should go there. But you hear places like, let's go to Egypt, Peru, but you don't see people saying, let's go to Colombia, because it's kind of a very remote place. When we went to Colombia, there's a particular archaeological site. It's called, today it's called San Agustín Archaeological Site. Okay. And I found statues and carvings exactly similar to Hindu carvings. Exactly that. You find carvings of Ganesha. You find carving of like a kind of an elephant-faced figure with an elephant trunk. And South America has no elephants. There's no elephants there. Ever, never, I don't think.
Right.
Okay. So if you go and talk to the locals, they say, oh, they don't know the name Ganesha, but they're like, no, this is Elephanta. This is the Hindu god. They recognize it.
God,
It's not accepted by archaeologists and historians at all. Right? They say something like, oh, no, this guy's probably holding a tool. It's probably like a saxophone or something like that. But it's very clear that it's an elephant trunk, and he has a crown very much like Ganesh. And you'll see Garuda taking the Naga in his mouth. Exact same iconography from Hinduism. Okay. And you will see, if you go to just a little bit remote parts of Colombia, you will find a central deity guarded by two Dwarapalakas Inside, there's a deity holding a baby, exactly similar to what we find in Hinduism in India. The same iconography. Okay, now it's very interesting. If you go to the the map of the world, it seems impossible. India's like halfway around.
Yeah, yeah. That was my next question. Do you think that these structures were maybe somebody took those structures there and kept it, or maybe we were spread, maybe the ancient India or the places we were spread that went to South America as well? What do you think?
My idea is simply like this. Okay, today you and I are able to basically just speak in English, use all kinds of equipment and everything like basically from the laptop to the mics to the language you use, the technology we use, the lights we use. You can buy it in any part of the world today,
Yeah.
right? You can just use the same resources and they can also watch it across the globe. The same level of technology, at least, existed thousands of years ago. They had the same civilization. They had the same technology. They had the same communication. They had the same gods. They were using the same language. They were worshiping the same gods. I don't particularly think that we were taking, some statues. People were taking some statues, taking in a ship and going to Colombia and planting them there. I believe that had already been established and Colombians were worshipping the same gods like us
Right.
thousands of years ago.
Similarly, like what is happening right now in Bali.
Yeah.
So people are worshipping Hindu gods. Mostly it's Bali is 99% Hindu.
Yes.
So the way people are worshipping Hindu gods there.
Yes.
So you're saying that maybe the civilization already had
Yes.
that belief and they were already Hindus.
Yes. Whether we don't know what they were called,
Religion,
right?
okay.
But yes, it's identical. See, today, because we are in India, you're saying, okay, what about the Naga, right? What about the snake-like
Right.
reptile
Structure,
gods worshipped by Indians, right? We call it Naga,
Yeah.
right? But if you go to Israel, they'll call it Nakash. And the Middle East has the same name, Nakash.
Right.
And if you go to Egypt, they call it Nehebkal. I'm talking ancient Egyptian religion,
Right.
not the reason, like Egypt is now almost completely Muslim now. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the ancient religion. You will see the Naga god, and the name of the Naga god is just Nehebkal. So the name and the gods are exactly the same. Okay, we just don't know this, right? We just don't understand this. We think it's a local kind of, or even a national phenomenon,
Right.
right? But I'm saying it's a global. It was a global
Wow.
phenomenon.
Wow.
And they worshiped the same gods and they had the same names and they had the same communication, right? And if you go to Cambodia, you'll find a pyramid there, right? And you know where do you know the name of the oldest pyramid in the world? Where do you think it would be?
Egypt.
So if you take archaeology 101 or history, and if you go to Wikipedia as well, the oldest pyramid is the Djoser pyramid or Saqqara pyramid in Egypt, right? That's around 4,200 or 300 years old, right? But if you go to Bareilly in UP, there is a pyramid there. Nobody wants to accept that it's a pyramid. It's a pyramid. If you go to Bareilly, if you see drone shots, you'll know that it's a pyramid. And on top of the pyramid, there's a lingam, right? And the name of this pyramid is Ahishetra. It's 5,000 years old, built around the time of Lord Krishna, right? It is the oldest pyramid in the world and is actually located in India. Okay, you can see it's crystal clear that it's a pyramid, right? But people don't recognize this
Right.
as even a pyramid, let alone the world's oldest pyramid. They don't even recognize that this is a pyramid we have in India. Okay? Now, If you go to Cambodia, you'll find a pyramid. And this is the middle of the jungle called the Kokor Pyramid. It's called Kokor now. Cambodian language, Kokor. It's fantastic. It's completely a forest. You'll see all the trees. And in the middle of it, you'll find a giant pyramid. And on top, of course, now the Lingam is gone. There was a huge Lingam there. So they built a pyramid there. If you go to another place near Angkor Wat, they built another pyramid there. These pyramids look identical to the Mayan pyramids in Mexico, in Central America. Some of them look identical to the Egyptian pyramids. So what I'm trying to say is when we think of pyramids, you normally tend to think Egyptian pyramids or Mayan pyramids, right? But no, Hindus were building pyramids that predate their construction. You see? They were building the pyramids like that. So,
but why do you think we were building pyramids?
That's a good question, right? So, and this is my theory, okay? And I can be wrong, but I can also be right. What they were trying to do is they were trying to build a pyramid in remote places, right? And what they were trying to do is they were trying to put a giant crystal lingam on top of the pyramid. That's what they were trying to do.
Okay.
This is literally true of almost all Hindu pyramids. This is true of Ahishetra. This is true of Kokor pyramid in Cambodia. Original name was Lingapura, a city of lingams. Okay. There would be all these trees, but in the middle, they would create a giant pyramid that's taller than the tree line. And on top, they would put a massive lingam, not just a small one, okay? Massive crystal lingam. Okay, massive. Why? Right? That's your question, but I'm asking you, why?
I think maybe this was the earliest form of a temple structure, maybe. And also maybe because, so mostly I think maybe because the pyramids are pointed upwards, maybe there's something related to energy that is going towards your lingam. Something like that, maybe. What do you think?
Okay. Now, do you know, before we had this electric radios, do you know that you had crystal radios?
Oh, really? I don't know.
You don't need electricity. You can just take some crystals, take a piece of wire, and you can connect them both, and you can basically listen to anything.
Okay.
You can still buy it on Amazon. It's kind of a toy now because nobody uses it, right? Because we have advanced sets,
Right.
at least we think.
Yeah.
Right? Before they commercialized electricity and they made everything dependent on the government given electricity, they used to have crystal receivers and crystal radio, right? It was the easiest way of communication, right? I can transmit information to you immediately. Now, again, let's say you and I were walking, and let's say you're walking in the middle of a jungle, right? So you're walking somewhere, it's full of trees. You're trying to call me,
Okay.
right? But it's not going through.
Okay.
Now, what do?
I'll shout.
You're trying to call me with your cell phone.
Right.
You're trying to call me, but it's not going, right? So instinctively, you're going to do this.
Yeah, I'll try to pick up a network. Yeah.
Exactly. Why? Because you understand that you have to go high. The higher you go, the better the reception. If you still don't get it, if you climb the tree, you'll get it.
Interesting.
If you climb a tree, you'll definitely get signal, by the way. If you don't get signal, just go outside, right? And then take the elevator
Right.
and go to the top of the building. You'll definitely get it, right? Like this is just, we don't think about this, but you'll do this, by the way. You'll do this even without thinking, because the higher the elevation, the better the reception. I think this is exactly why they were building these pyramids. in the middle of the forest, clearing all the trees, but making sure they stood above the trees. So if you go and see a cell phone tower in the middle of the forest, what do you say? Was it built for religious reasons?
Okay.
What would you say?
Right. Right.
Think about it, right? Do you ever see, oh, that's a cell phone tower. That must be made for superstitious reasons. Yeah. No, right? But when we think about the temples, or when we think about the pyramids like that with crystal lingams, we tend to think like this. We tend to think, oh, that must have just been for rituals or, religious reasons, right? It's very easy to dismiss it like that. But is it possible that they were using some type of communication around the world using pyramids? You find the pyramids in Egypt, you find them in India, you find them in Cambodia, you find them in Guatemala, you find them in Mexico. Were they using a global network of communication using crystals?
Interesting.
Right? And this is, see, again, just when you see it, I hope, you and people who watch this, just take everything with a grain of salt. Like, just try to think a little bit deeper than the data. Just don't stop with the data, right? Just think a little bit, right? So if I see you, if I come there and Sharma's drilling a hole in the wall, I'm not going to be like, oh, he's just doing this for religious reasons, right? If you're drilling a hole in the wall,
Right.
it's probably to hang a picture. It's probably to mount a TV. There's going to be a practical purpose
Right.
behind your action,
Right.
right? But when we look at archaeological sites, we are so quick to dismiss it as, oh, this must just be a temple. This must be a place of superstition. This is just a, So just take it with a grain of salt, right? Think about why 1,000 people would gather 2,000 years ago, clear a forest and build a pyramid and place a giant crystal lingam on top, right? Do you think it?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But that also raises an interesting question, that if this pyramid is being made, per se, now we maybe get into this theory of a communication tower was built. So do you think that the humans were of the same size of today?
Perhaps giants, they would have been giants. At least some parts would have been maybe different, right? They would have had some change, in their physical appearances. We do hear about the giants. We don't know that for sure, but if you go back 100 years ago, you will find lots of newspaper clippings, lots, right? I'm talking about thousands of newspaper clips that say giant skeletons were found. In fact, the mound builders, the Native Americans who created all these temple-like structures in the US, they were just usually called giant mound builders. They were not called mound builders. They were called giant mound builders. In Hinduism, for example, when a human had a partner who was not human, the child was a giant. I don't know if you know that. So you can take Bhima, you can take Hanuman. Only one of them was human, and the other parent was not a human. So when the offspring was a hybrid, it had, giant features. It's a very common feature in ancient texts. If you go to the Bible, it mentions the exact same thing. These giant figures are called Nephilim. They're called as Nephilim. And they are made by humans. The Nephilim are usually made by humans mating with fallen angels. So one of them was kind of a demon or a fallen angel, and the other one was a human, and the offspring was a Nephilim. It was a giant, right? And it had these weird properties. This is of some interest to me. I've never really fully thought through that. I love the stories
Right.
told by like all the old souls who lived next to me in India. These are very common things, right? So in India,
Yeah.
they would be like, don't let the child go, like, crawl
Right.
out,
Right.
because they used to say there were big eagles
Right.
that could carry the kids.
Hmm.
I don't know if you knew these stories.
Mm.
I don't know if you know. I don't know if you know the stories, but like the old people who lived around me, they would tell me that at that time they had eagles when they were children, right? So 150 years ago, they had eagles that were so large they can carry the babies, they can carry the goats, they can carry the calves of the cow,
Right.
right? And the same thing, they talk about the details. They would be like, we don't find those big crabs anymore, and they probably had bigger
Right. Right.
animals, right?
Right.
So I don't know, like, if that was applicable to humans, or I sometimes wonder if they were talking about similar beings like Neanderthals.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm. Right.
right? I don't know if you ever think
Yeah.
like that, but is it possible that they were talking about like Neanderthals? Like sometimes they mention things like Vanaras. Like, are they really like monkeys? Are they apes? Or are they talking about like Neanderthals or Bigfoot or some other species? We have so many. We find so many, right? Homo floresiensis, Homo, erectus, and so on and so
Yeah.
forth. Were these things coexisting with us, right? We know that humans mated with Neanderthals.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah.
So we don't understand that fully.
Right. Right. Quite interesting. Quite interesting. And this also matches the philosophy as well of the pyramid that we are trying to build.
Oh, like what?
The lingam which you're talking about. So if that pyramid existed,
Mm-hmm.
supposedly when we talk about the evolution theory as well, so the genetically modified genes during those times,
Yeah.
so they were different than today's humans. So probably there were people who were capable enough to maybe keep a lingam on the top of a pyramid or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. But quite interesting of a theory. I want to know, because now we're discussing about lingam. Did you found Ravana's red lingam recently?
It's in Cambodia, yeah.
It's in Cambodia.
It's in Cambodia.
How do you know it's Ravana's lingam?
We don't know. It's just a folklore.
Folk, what is it?
So if you go to Cambodia, there's again, it's the same place as the crystal lingam on top of the pyramid,
Oh.
right?
Oh.
It's the same, it's the same place. Today it's called Koker.
Okay.
Kohker.
All
Okay,
right.
so that's the name of the place.
Right. This is your video. Play the video as well. So you were inside this temple.
Yeah.
This one.
Oh yeah, this one. This is the red lingam.
How is it red?
If you go here, well, I didn't know it was red actually, but when I went here, when I went there, I thought it was just, there you go. You can see that something is smeared on top of it. At least one, you can see that it's peeling off, but it's dark maroon colored. Probably what happened to, it's either blood or some kind of vegetable paint, but once upon a time it must have been red.
Right.
After 1,000 years,
And what's the story of this temple?
in this area, in this Koker area, which is again, it's almost a fantastic theory to think that Ravana would even be there, right? Because Ravana should either be in India or Lanka,
Right.
right? But again, if you go to the Koker area, this is called Koker now.
Okay.
The original name of this place is Lingapura. It's the city of Lingams.
Right.
Now, if you go back and if you see the location of this place, if you go here and you see the starting of this, it's so large, by the way, it's impossible to touch. This is how the place actually looks. There's nothing there. just trees and dirt. Even the road, it's not made of concrete or something. It's just dirt road. This is how it will look. Okay, this is how the Lingapura looks now. And again, you might think this is the only lingam, but like I said, this is the Lingapura, right? City of lingams. So you go to this temple, and you can just keep walking. Every 5 minutes, you'll find another one like this. And this one is called the Ravana's red lingam because it has that red pigment on it. And well, we don't know. It's just folklore. Right? I mean, I hope somebody can test it. But I would say there's only a 50-50 chance. It's probably just vegetable paint, right? Or it could be the actual blood. And that would be a fantastic discovery if somebody takes a sample and tests it, right? But yeah, you find and look at the size of the lingam. Even if you try, you cannot touch it. It's that big. It's a 10-foot tall lingam in the middle of nowhere. You'll find lingam after lingam in this place. That's the Ravana's red lingam. And then you'll find underwater lingams in the same place. The water's flowing, but under the water, you'll find lingams. That's also, again, it's also said to be made by Ravana, by the way. But I don't know if you know, but Ravana was making lingam after lingam after lingam to get the blessing of Lord Shiva and his mother as well, because that's all they did. They were just making they were making one lingam every day,
right?
And they were just trying to, basically become like Ravana was basically trying to become a god, right? So he was getting all the blessings he could get from Shiva, and then he was just trying to make Shiva happy. So he was making lingam after lingam after lingam. And I showed you a particular carving there. Now, I don't know if it's palatable for YouTube, but just for your interest, there's a particular, there you go. Yeah, we're exactly in that place. So if you see this, right? So if you see there's a lingam, right? And again, this carving is found in Kailash Temple in Ellora Caves. There's a lingam. And usually lingams will have flowers, right? But this lingam has his heads, Ravana's heads. Ravana started to cut his heads one by one. So Ravana was trying to please Shiva, but Shiva did not show up. So Ravana gets very frustrated. So what he does is he starts to cut his head one by one, and he starts to put them.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. That was his level of dedication, right? So, and then underneath, you can see. Underneath, you can see Ravana's trying to cut off his last head. Right? Ravana's cutting off his final head because he was not going to stop, right? He was not going to just stop. He was going to give his final head. And then Shiva comes.
Right.
And stops him and gives him what he wants. Right. And then Ravana does terrible things. Ravana goes and he shakes the mountain. Yeah. So, and this is the legend connecting that Ravana's red lingam.
Got it.
So, because Ravana was doing blood rituals to the lingams.
Which is why this lingam was red.
Correct.
So, allegedly, this was red because of Ravana's blood,
yes.
Oh, right. So, I heard that you also visited some of the temples in Cambodia, which had some Kalki and Manu structures as well. What was that?
There's one temple known as Thane. That's... it's called the Cursed Temple. It's in the jungle. Nobody goes there. There's no roads there. We go to that temple. It's they've even boarded up the entrances. Like almost all the entrances are closed. So we have to get into the temple from the back. Right. But if you go in there, all the rocks have fallen, but if you climb on the rocks, you'll find 2 carvings. Okay. Now, very rare carvings, especially to find only in Cambodia. I've not seen it in India. On one carving, you'll see a fish, right? Who's kind of a god and who's saving human beings. You will see a person going on a boat, like a large boat, with other beings. Okay. This is Manu, who was saved by Matsya, right, the fish, and Manu takes the boat and he takes all the animals, and because he is expecting a great flood. This is exactly the same story of what you will find in Bible, the Noah's Ark. So in the Bible, Noah realizes that there's going to be a great flood. Everything is going to be flooded.
That's building arcs.
Right? So he builds an ark, like a giant ship, right? And he takes all the animals, right? So this is a very popular thing. But we find the exact same story in Hinduism as well, right? Because Manu does the exact same thing. And did you know, like, the Indian texts go like one step further, because Manu also takes the seeds to save the plants, to keep the plants. Manu also takes the seeds. It's mentioned in Hinduism, but it's not mentioned in the Bible. Okay. Now, right opposite to this carving, you'll find another carving that shows Kalki. Kalki is kind of, he's shown in a flying horse carrying like a kind of
sword,
a laser sword kind of thing. Okay, lightsaber kind of thing. So on one end, we can see the carving of the beginning of humanity. And on the other end, Kalki is literally the person who's going to end the Kali Yuga, right? And again, there's a very rare carving found in a temple called Thane. Nobody had documented this before, right? One problem is that it's a remote temple. It's in the jungle. And it's very hard to reach. There are no roads. The other problem is that today's Cambodians they don't know much about the Hindu concepts.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So they did not probably understand the carvings there. Right. And it might be of some interest to you, right? I don't know if you understand this. On one end, we're looking at the past, right? On the other end, we're looking at kind of the future. But Hindus understood the theory of evolution very well. Like, they understood this like perfectly, right? Because the first avatar of Vishnu, Matsya, that's a fish, right? If you look at Darwin's evolution theory, that's the first large animal that starts from the water, right? And the second avatar in Hinduism, Kurma, that's a turtle, right? So it's also again in the water, but it can also come on land if it wants, right? So it's an amphibian kind of, right? So again, Darwin's theory is exactly that, right? So it's slowly life starts moving from the water towards the earth. Varaha, right? That's the rodents. That's the mammals. That's the mammals and the wild boars. That's the rodents, right? And that's exactly the same thing. And the next one is Narasimha. In most ancient structures, you will see the Narasimha as a lion, right? Dominating like other animals, right? Like very much like the saber-toothed cat, the Smilodon. Once upon a time, the world was dominated by these big cats.
Right.
Okay. And what's the fifth one? It's the Vamana. Now, if you look at the Vamana, it's only very short. And it does not have any weapons. The Vamana only has an umbrella and maybe water.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, again, this is confirmed in the theory of evolution because this is just before the human beings. Okay. The Neanderthals were not taller than 5 feet. Homo floresiensis even shorter, 4 feet, 3.5 feet. So these short animals who did not know how to use weapons. Okay. And what is the next avatar? It's Parashuram,
Hmm.
the guy that carries the axe. And he has a beard and mustache. He carries the axe. He's the first caveman,
Right.
right? He doesn't have anything, and he's a very rough, crude guy who's carrying an axe,
Right.
right? And then who's the next guy? Rama.
Hmm.
He's the hunter-gatherer, right? Rama's always shown with a bow and arrow.
Right.
Right. And the last one is Krishna, very street smart. He's a player, basically, right? He plays music, he's very sophisticated, he's beautiful, he's very street smart.
Right.
And the final one is Kalki. Now, this exactly matches the theory of evolution. There's no, all you have to do is just put the turtle before the fish, right? If you put the kurma before the matsya, the whole theory falls apart. But Hinduism was perfect in aligning with the theory of evolution.
Right. How do you make up with something like this is a Brahmastra? How do you relate to this? Tell me this.
It's just
I'm seeing one of your videos.
Mhm.
This is my favorite YouTube channel, by the way. So, what's that? What are you doing? Tell me this.
Now you can see that's a lingam that we found in Cambodia.
Okay.
And it's not just the lingam. If you look at the blocks just behind the lingam also,
Mm-hmm.
you can see all the blocks are just they're all over the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that the parts are there. The lingam is half broken, right? And if you come and you can see how big that lingam is, by the way.
Yeah.
It's larger than me. But if you just go to the entrance of the temple, you will notice something very strange. Okay, it's not the ruins, but it'll kind of. Of course, now we're gonna use some explosion. This is all AI done, but that's how it really looks. So you see that? So if you look at the entrance, it looks as if there was a bomb went off from the inside. And then it's actually hard to even get into it. If you see that, that's how it actually looks. As though there was an explosion inside the temple and all these stone blocks just fell out.
So eventually this would mean that there was some kind of an attack in this temple?
Local stories differ. One of them is just, they had during the war with Thailand, there was an explosion. This is Cambodia. They often fight with Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
And some people even say that no, during the Khmer Rouge, they had a particular regime a few decades ago. They said they were bombing all the temples. They exploded all the temples. And in some other cases, they say, no, this is an ancient explosion, right? There was an explosion that happened many, many centuries ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll find many, and again,
where is the Brahmastra?
You cannot see the Brahmastra. I mean, I would have then you don't have to see it on YouTube, right? Because it'll be all over the news. But
you never know. Praveen Mohan can do anything. I totally trust this guy.
You can find some very, very interesting carvings. Like one of the carvings that I really liked was the underwater, right? The one that I really like to do. Can we go down?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we go down a little bit more? Yeah, just right there.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched this one.
Did you? Yeah, see that? You see the size?
So cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this would mean that there was a civilization here and they were having underground lingams as well.
Underground lingams are there. Underwater lingams are there. I showed you the red lingam is there. The exploded kind of lingams are there. A variety of lingams. This place is known as Sahasralinga. meaning 1,000 lingams,
Hmm.
all carved,
Hmm.
underwater. Like now it's a very dry season, so it's at least we're able to see. But when the water really starts flowing, then you become invisible, and you see how many lingams are there.
It's inside.
Yeah, that's
Water.
under the water. Yeah.
So what would be the purpose inside under the water for creating lingam?
So, the general idea was Cambodia was a jungle, and then they cleared all the trees and they made and started to plant crops, rice crops. They wanted to grow rice. The water comes from the mountain, and they put it in the fields, right? But the rice did not grow.
Wow.
Now, why? Because it did not have the power of Shiva. So the water has to go through the lingams to get a certain power, to make the soil fertile.
Right.
So this is the whole idea that the lingams were created in the flowing. And there's one more massive. This is again the Ravana's lingam there. Oh, fine. At the very, very interesting place. There you go. Let's see how big that is. 10 by 10. It's almost a big room. And inside, underwater, you'll see a very strange lingam. That's the lingam carved underwater. It's almost like an egg. And then it's not just one, okay? So everywhere you stand, under your feet, I'll show you. It's very, see, right there. See, I think I made a mistake. So everywhere you stand under your feet as well, you will find more lingams. You think that's one big lingam.
Got it.
But it's full of lingams.
Why do you think that there's so many lingams in the world? Like, is this only a spiritual or a religious reason to it, or there could be something other than that for having a lingam around?
I think these are just kind of energy sources created to give us energy and healing. When we take these people to Cambodia and Thailand, and now we're doing a tour in India. When we take them...
India?
Yeah, we're doing a tour in India too in September. Taking them to Kailash Temple. We're taking them to all the lathe-turned pillars, Hoysala Temple, Chennakeshwar. So all the mysteries we talked about, I take people on tours. And when they go and touch the lingams, start crying. People start crying. Very, very interesting. I did not know about this, that people react like this. Because we go there to research the lingams and temples. We carry all the cameras and we're filming and we're touching and we're measuring. So we look at them as just objects, like we just like to research them as something like an intriguing thing. But when these people come with us, we take them on the tours and they touch the lingam, they just start crying. Yeah. And we cannot stop them.
Explosive, yeah.
The first few times we were just shocked and you're like, why is it happening? But it turns out that there is something about the lingams, like somebody will cry when they touch the underwater lingam. Somebody was touching the Ravana's red lingam and they couldn't stop. They were just crying for like 45 minutes, because so it has this energy to them that
transfers.
Yeah, it literally does something to their soul. It's kind of a transformational journey.
Which is the oldest Shiva lingam in the world?
They say the oldest Shiva lingam is in Gudimallam. This is in South India. They say it's older than 2,000 years. It's a very odd lingam. It looks almost like he's standing on a rocket ship.
We talked about Lingam, I want to, because we'll have another episode, we'll talk about civilizations and other things as well. Before moving there, I just want you to, because we've talked a lot about technologies, we talked about temples and ancient figures. I want to know that who were these ancient builders? Who are our forefathers who were great engineers, who were great architects? Who were they really? Were they humans? Were they rishis? What's your theory on it? What do you think?
My theory is basically the same as what the ancient texts say. Ancient texts say that Shiva came from Shivaloka and Vishnu came from Vishnuloka or Vaikunta. And the same theory goes on and on about the Devas, the Asuras, and they coexisted with humans. They intermarried with them. They helped the humans. Today we have various theories, right? We call them extraterrestrials. Like what is happening with the UFO, right? They're coming through this. But the basic idea that is, this is not my point of view, but this is mentioned again and again in ancient texts, Indian texts, that the gods came from the sky on earth and they created this entire civilization. Right. So, in my opinion, the ancient builders were just that. And this is why even the texts, they're called aparushaya, meaning that we didn't write the texts.
Right.
Right. The texts, like all the Vedas.
Right.
Right. They have a superhuman quality to them because, they are superhuman.
Right.
So the ancient builders, in essence, were not human. And this is what I really think. And I think it was a major catalyst. Again, this ties in with the UFO disclosure, right? So 20 years ago, even talking about UFOs, complete pseudoscience. Right? Today, it's normal to talk about UFO disclosure, so it's normal. 20 years later, we'll accept it. But think about it. If extraterrestrials can come now, right?
Why not back then?
Why not 5,000, 10,000 years ago?
Interesting.
Right?
Really interesting. Which is the most exciting temple you've ever been? Which is the most amount of time you have spent inside a temple?
I've been in Angkor Wat for a week.
For a
in
week?
Cambodia. It's still not like...
You love Cambodia, you know?
I do. Yeah, we do a lot of work with the Cambodian government now.
Okay.
We do a lot of research for the government. I'm going to Cambodia to promote. They have there's a Cambodian beverage company that is going to launch Hanuman mineral water.
Oh, wow.
So they called me and they're like, can you promote Hanuman drinking water? And I'm like, okay, I'm coming there. I have to go in 5 days or so.
Right.
I do love Cambodia. But yeah, I've spent a week in Angkor Wat, but I still am not able to finish the carvings.
Okay.
Because it's the largest temple in the world, right?
Of Lord Shiva?
It's the largest Hindu temple ever. It's a temple dedicated to Vishnu, by the way.
Okay.
It's not a Shiva temple.
Okay.
It's dedicated to Vishnu.
Okay.
But it's the largest Hindu temple in the world.
Okay. How do you spell it?
Angkor space W.
Angkor Wat Temple, Cambodia. So you were here for a week?
Yeah. For the research, we do go there.
Is it the temple?
Yes.
This is huge, huh?
It's visible from the space, actually.
Oh,
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, it is very big. It's 3 times. And I'm not saying that Angkor Wat is the largest Hindu temple in the world. Now, do you know what's the largest religious structure in the world? Do you know if it's a church or a mosque or a stupa? It is still Angkor Wat. It is still Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat is the largest religious structure in the world. It's 3 times the entire size of the Vatican City It's of the entire city. It's 3 times the size.
Right. Right.
Okay, and it's the largest Hindu temple. It's not in India,
But it's outside India. Right.
So and see, I mean, just a little bit of like interesting things for you, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't normally talk about this. Now, Angkor Wat is the largest Hindu temple in the world, right? It's who's the main deity?
Vishnu.
Okay. What's the second largest Hindu temple in the world? Do you know?
Oh.
It's Sri Rangam. It's in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
Now, who's the main deity? Vishnu. And do you know what's the third largest temple?
Padmanabhaswamy.
Well, it's in the list. I think the third one is Swaminarayan Temple. Now they're building it in the US. Again, that's also dedicated to Vishnu. You know, and actually, a huge majority of people, Hindus, worship Shiva more than Vishnu, right? But all the large temples, very large temples, are all dedicated to Vishnu. Okay? And like, this is, again, this is a very kind of a controversial thing to say. If you worship Vishnu every day, you'll get very rich.
Oh, really?
Physically.
Okay.
Okay? Now, if you worship Shiva, right, you'll become very spiritual, but you'll also become very simplistic in real life. In real life, you'll become a very simple, humble person who likes to kind of be undercover. You don't want any attention.
Right.
And again, remember I said Shiva is the Abhisheka Priya, right? He doesn't want
anything.
alankar, right? He doesn't want gold. He doesn't want diamonds, right?
Right.
So if you go to the temple of Tirupati in Tirumala, it's so rich. You get millions and millions of dollars in donation every day. Right. Again, dedicated to Vishnu.
That's the richest temple in the country?
I would say in terms of revenue coming every day, it is. That's the richest one in India. If you just calculate it by the amount of revenue collected every day, that's the richest. If you're calculating it from the treasure that's stored, it's Padmanabhaswamy Temple. Again, dedicated to Vishnu.
Lord Vishnu. Right.
Okay, billions and billions, 22 billion, they say, dollars in there. And they are yet to open a few more. Yeah, Vault B. And who knows, Vault B might have more vaults on the other side, right? So they are only thinking it's Vault B. So they think they'll open Vault B and they'll find a bunch of things there. But if they open Vault B, there might be more doors inside, right? So who knows what they're storing, right? Who knows that, right? Again, but it's somewhat interesting to think that, again, we go back to that esoteric information, the information that you see, but you don't understand that information. I'm not saying this as a joke, but I'm literally saying that if you start worshiping Shiva more, you're going to become more and more spiritual. You'll become a very peaceful person, but you're going to become more isolated, more like underground. You don't want any attention. You don't like to wear any jewelry. You don't want the flashy car, right? And if you start worshiping Vishnu, you'll become more worldly, like you're more sociable. You ever notice Vishnu is always laughing, right? Smiling, while Shiva is always like very serious.
Right.
Okay. Right. Ever notice how Vishnu is always relaxing?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and ever notice how Vishnu is sitting on a Garuda, while Shiva has a Naga. It's all planned out. These are polar opposites. Okay, so Vishnu has Garuda and Shiva has Naga, right? And then Vishnu is called Surya Narayana, meaning that Vishnu is the sun, while Shiva is the Chandrasekhara, is the moon. So all these things are very well planned, and they actually have an impact on you. If you go to Vishnu temple, and this is no joke actually, if a person keeps going on to Vishnu, and you can switch too, if you really find yourself broke, or if you just think, oh, I'm tired of all the worldly pressures, you can start going back to Shiva. And if you go to the Shiva temples, you will notice even the priest is not wearing anything. He's not wearing any gold jewelry. Okay, the priest is actually kind of poor, right? And you'll find homeless people, the beggars outside Shiva temples. You will not find them outside Vishnu temples. Okay, and if you go into Vishnu temples, people are dancing. They're singing happy bhajans, right? If you go to Krishna temple, like people are dancing. But if you go to Shiva temples, it's very serious. It's quiet. Even the mantras chanted there. So all this is esoteric information. You see this every day. Yeah. Probably none of what I say is new to you. You know that Shiva has a snake, but you don't put them together to find out what kind of impact it has on you, right? You don't understand how the whole, like the story is connected to it, right? So Vishnu is married to Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth.
Oh,
okay. And Kubera is the master of all wealth, is the treasurer of Vishnu. So it's all connected together. So we can go on and on and on and look at.
I just mentioned you off camera that I can't even think for the last 18 years you've been doing this work consistently. And when I was reading about Srila Prabhupada, I remember he went to New York and he just transformed the life of hippies back then. And I honestly feel that there are the rarest of the rarest souls who are chosen to take this ancient knowledge to the West. And what you've been doing for the last 18 and so many years is commendable. And I thank you on behalf of everyone. You're doing a great job and see you in the next one.
Thank you for having me.
आज का पूरा शो देखने के लिए दिल से शुक्रिया। एपिसोड कैसा था मुझे कमेंट सेक्शन में जरूर बताइएगा। चैनल को सब्सक्राइब भी अवश्य करें क्योंकि सुपर टॉक्स एक मूवमेंट है जो हमारे देश का भविष्य उज्जवल बना रहा है। जय हिंद।